So I know these market projections aren't exactly popular these days, but I do feel an ethical obligation to share since these have such a high probability of being exactly how 2021 is going to play out. That is where it becomes a projection, but with what we're seeing out there right now and the space that we're entering into, very high probability that we're going to see a very substantial bull market in 2021. The simple of it, like I've been harping on, like you probably read every single day, low inventory. Like inventory is so low right now that if it increased 3x, like 300%, we, we'd still be talking about how low the inventory is. Like it's crazy. It's just a ghost town. Like just a lot of would-be sellers have not been putting their houses on the market, and we can talk about reasons for that if you'd like. A lot of them are somewhat obvious these days, and buyer demand is just absolutely through the roof. And some of that's market driven, like herd mentality driven, but a lot of it's just like home matters more than it used to. So we're seeing a lot of activity in the move up markets where a lot of people's goals center around what is home. Are we going to relocate to somewhere that's maybe not right in the center of the city? There's so much here that's just driving demand. And of course, the all important money is basically in real terms free these days. Like interest rates are so low, historic lows, that it's just buyers can afford more home than they frankly should be able to, which is great, not arguing. But what happens here is it's just a really good market for transacting, and that's going to be the case moving forward the next 90, 180 days into the next year, where all parties benefit from doing transactions. With it being such a hot market, sellers can more easily get the terms that they're looking for, and of course that premium price. And where that really becomes important is maybe homes that have a little bit of functional obsolescence. Like think just a weird house, like 6 bedrooms, 1 bath, right? Like that kind of concept. Or maybe you're on a busy road, or maybe it's just like man, it's dated. It's got the old 70s shag carpets and the old kitchen and appliances. And in normal markets, you'd have to lower the price a lot to sell that. And in low inventory markets, maybe that is not the case. All the buyers out there more desperate to get something into contract, ultimately buy something, and maybe that house that wouldn't normally sell so easily will. That's just kind of what we see these days. And like we talked about on the buy side, that's those two things, perfect storm together. Everyone kind of benefits from transacting these days. Very likely 2021 is going to be a sustained market where that's the case. It's not like Bitcoin where prices go up like 3x in a few months. Bull markets that are extreme in real estate, things go up like 10%. We're constrained by appraisals, so reach out to me if you'd like to talk about that as well. So very likely going to be a hot market in the next year. Keep in mind that's where it becomes a projection. If you have any goals, buying, selling, investing, obviously it sounds a little like, of course he said that coming from me, but it benefits you to do that sooner rather than later. Just something I highly recommend looking into. And of course, if that's something you'd like to do, absolutely would love to bring you value by answering your questions and making you feel more comfortable about what's coming up in the near future. But yes, any questions you have, you just feel free to reach out. Thanks.